Also, emails, well, they show how fear gripped the University of Missouri, the campus, during that student protest last fall. If you remember, there were racial tensions, led ultimately to the university president and chancellor resigning. Joining me now, Jillian Melchior, who conducted an extensive investigation for Heat Street. Great, you know, Heat Street, you're up. This is your debut piece, and I got to tell you, it's fantastic stuff. Now, let me just, the way it was portrayed in the media, sort of like the black students at the University of Missouri felt like they were under constant pressure, under constant threat, and that they weren't comfortable. And yet, there was another part that that I guess the media missed. You start off your piece talking about a disturbing tweet that one of that a professor got from a presumably white student that said that black students need to stop protesting and start killing.
Yeah. And I think, you know, you saw a lot of students seeing things like this online, hearing about things like this online, and really being afraid. Now, reading through 7,400 pages of Missouri emails, it's really clear that there were valid racial concerns. There were some incidents that were really troublesome. But I think where the protesters lost their moral legitimacy is when they tried to turn it into a story about racism endemic on campus and then use that as an excuse to terrorize other students.
What's this group? The group, the hashtag Concerned Students 1950. They sort of took center stage.
They did.
They set the narrative, if you will. They sort of, whatever they put out there is what the media sort of took and ran with. But by the same token, they were kind of using tactics that made people afraid. I mean, people were fearful of physical violence. Yeah,
absolutely. They were Concerned Student 1950 was the name of the group. And you really get the sense reading the emails that it was a group of maybe 30, 40 key people within it. And it was interesting seeing other minority students coming up, emailing the chancellor's office, emailing the president's office, saying these people do not speak for us. We don't believe that there is a culture of racism on campus. Are there incidents that have been troublesome? Absolutely. But is it representative of the entire campus? Absolutely not. You saw these protesters take it and run wild with it. There were white students, white professors who were saying that they felt uncomfortable walking on campus, describing protesters running up and yelling at them, in one case pushing someone. It really sounded like a hostile environment.
Was it, I saw a mention of Black Lives Matter. Was it, were these Black Lives Matter sort of tactics, or were they trying to associate themselves with it? And ultimately, did you feel, after going through all of this paperwork, all of this material, that they were looking for solutions, or they just were in it for the fight, for the, you know, for the antagonistic part of it?
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because some of the Concerned Student 1950 group members met with college leadership, and they very explicitly said, we are in this for the fight. We're not concerned with coming up with a solution to this. And then I think you also saw administrators who were very concerned about outside groups coming in one case mentioning people busing up 2 hours to participate in the protest. This campus was out of control.
Before I let you go, the president and chancellor quitting, do you think, and now looking back, that they should have, did they do anything that they should have quit their jobs?
I think they put themselves in a position where they didn't have a choice. I mean, if you look at the protesters' demands, even things like, there's one great email where they say, we want a generator. So they get the generator. They want another generator because they don't have enough to plug in their phones. They get
it. You're saying they should have quit because they bowed to the protesters, not necessarily because they've let a campus environment of racial hatred fester.
Yes.
We got to leave it there.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Appreciate it.